Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition here on the Greg Podcast. As today, I am going to be doing my NFL mock draft 1.0. Originally, this was going to come out Friday, but plans have changed. It's now coming out today, Sunday. We will also have another mock draft. We're going to have mock drafts Friday on this channel. So this Friday, we'll get 2. Next week will be 3.0. The following week will be 4.0. And then we'll do our final mock draft Thursday, the day of the draft, number 5.0. So let's not waste any time here. Let's cut into the mock draft. First overall pick. It's no surprise. It's got to be Caleb Williams. And before we get to talk about Caleb Williams and the Bears, in these mock drafts we do not do trades. We do all 32 teams, 1 through 32. No trades. You have the pick. You pick the player. That's how I do my mock drafts. We're not doing any trades. It's already hard as it is. But that's how I do my mock drafts. No trades. Anyway, Caleb Williams to the Bears. I think this is a early lock. Bears already traded away Justin Fields. They're in the direction of Caleb Williams. They now got Caleb Williams will be a Bear. And Chicago fans are up and down. Some of them love Fields. They're upset that he left. And some Bears fans wanted Caleb Williams. There's people out there, including myself, that thinks Caleb Williams will be a bust. The only reason I think Caleb Williams, the player, is a great player. Caleb Williams off the field showing signs of bust, not working around the combine, not doing any medical stuff. That's kind of something. But Caleb Williams is a great, great player. And, I do think somewhat he could be bust, but I like the pick. I think Caleb Williams would do great things. Now, I just said I think he could be a bust. It's like, 25% chance I feel that way, but I think Caleb Williams is a home run pick for the Bears. It's going to happen. So, Bears fans, you got your quarterback. Now let's make it work, okay? Second pick, Washington Commanders. I'm going Drake May. It could go Jayden Daniels in my next mock draft. We'll see. I think Drake May is the second best quarterback in this draft class. Maybe Jayden Daniels. We'll see. I mean, yeah, we'll see how the rumor mill goes around. I do like Jayden Daniels, but I think Drake May has the more upside, and I think Washington. I think Washington will go Drake May. I don't think JJ McCarthy's getting a lot of buzz. I do not know. I don't think he'll go number 2. I wouldn't be surprised if Washington goes with Jayden Daniels too. I mean, Washington, they tried the Sam Howell experiment, another North Carolina quarterback, didn't work out for them. He's now in Seattle. Mitchell Trubisky, another North Carolina quarterback, didn't pan out. Right now, I got Washington going Drake May. Washington needs a quarterback. They just signed Marcus Mariota. Not the long term answer there. Probably will be the starter for about 8 weeks. I give it, but they're gonna go with a quarterback. I think it's either Drake May or Jayden Daniels. We're gonna go Jaden or Drake May there. New England Patriots, they're gonna select a quarterback too. So we're gonna have quarterback go 1, 2, 3 here. Patriots, it's pretty obvious they need a quarterback. Now they do got Brissett on a 1-year deal. Maybe they re-sign him again and have him and then go quarterback next year. Maybe they take Marvin Harrison Jr., which ain't a bad option. Maybe you get Penix later or Bo Nix if the Patriots want that. But I think Jayden Daniels is a good quarterback. Jayden Daniels is a dual threat quarterback, which is something the Patriots, I feel like, never have had. So I think that could be good. And Jerod Mayo now has a quarterback. And you look at the quarterbacks in the AFC right now, the Patriots are probably the worst team in the AFC East right now. No offense if you're a Patriots fan watching this. I mean, it's just the truth right now. The Patriots are the worst team in the AFC East. Dolphins and Bills are the two top contenders. The Jets, we'll see what they do. But the Patriots now get their franchise quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if they took Marvin Harrison Jr. here. They just traded away Mac Jones. They had Brissett. So, I mean, Jayden Daniels, I think he needs a year to sit and get into the NFL system. I mean, he's a good quarterback. He had a Heisman caliber year. So don't get me wrong. But some of the hits Jayden Daniels has taken would worry me if I'm a Patriot fan. But I like Jayden Daniels to the Patriots. I think this could be a good pickup for the Patriots. It gives them a dual threat quarterback, something they never had. Give them a little excitement going into the future. Again, they could go Marvin Harrison Jr., go quarterback later. So we'll see what the Patriots do. But I'm going Jayden Daniels for this mock draft. Number 4, Arizona Cardinals will select Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't worked out. I believe he's just being like, go off the film. You got to respect him for that decision. But Cardinals need a receiver. Kyler Murray, they're still gonna be the quarterback. They have no weapons. They just lost Hollywood Brown. They have to get a receiver. Whether if Marvin Harrison Jr. goes, they got to get Malik Neighbors with the next pick. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. has to be the pick. If the three quarterbacks go like we have in this mock draft, they got to get that pick, and they need a number one receiver. Cardinals also need a lot too, but they get the best receiver in the class. They get that. So Cardinals go Marvin Harrison Jr. there, and it makes sense. They need a receiver, but they also need everything else. But Marvin Harrison Jr., best receiver in the class. Chargers. Now, the Chargers, this is interesting. They lost Keenan Allen. They lost Mike Williams. They have no one on offense. You're probably thinking, Greg, Malik Neighbors? No. The Chargers are going to go with Brock Bowers. Now, you might be thinking, Greg, that sounds like a stupid pick. I'm going to tell you why I think the Chargers should go with Brock Bowers here. If you think about it, the receiver, let me pull up the receivers here. There are so many good receivers later in the draft that, could pan out. You guys got to remember, Puka Nacua this past year was a fourth or a fifth round draft pick, probably a top receiver in the league right now. You know what I mean? The receivers in this class are so loaded, and I feel like the Chargers can get one later. I get it. They don't have a top threat. Neighbors can be their top threat. But what Brock Bowers can do is be Justin Herbert's security blanket. He's great in the pass game. He's good in the run game, too. He's just the best tight end in the class. The Chargers need a tight end. Justin Herbert needs a security blanket. That's Brock Bowers. Jim Harbaugh is bringing a new philosophy to LA, and I think Brock Bowers is going to be that guy. They can get a receiver later in the draft. Now, the receivers later in the draft, you may argue, Greg, they're not that good. But I think Brock Bowers would be a home run pick for the Chargers. If they go Malik Neighbors, it's not a bad pick either. Brock Bowers it's going to help the Chargers. Helps in the pass game. He'll help in the run game. I like Brock Bowers to the Chargers. I mean, that's just such a good pick there. I like it. Now, will they go tight end? Going tight end in the top 10, that sounds so crazy. I mean, but, Brock Bowers, I think, can change the game. I think he could change the Chargers offense, honestly. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Bowers falls outside the top 10. Tight end is not really a premium position. You draft in the top 10. You could argue that, but I like Brock Bowers. I like him to the Chargers a lot. Now the Giants. This is the Giants. Okay. I've been seeing a lot of mock drafts. Everyone's saying the Giants should take a quarterback. I understand, Giants fans. You probably want a new quarterback too. Let me tell you something. In my opinion, Giants fans, I seen your posts. I seen your Twitter, right? I have a friend who's a Giants fan. We all know Daniel Jones sucks. We can agree with that. Was Daniel Jones worth the $45 million? Hell no, he was not. But Giants fans, you got to give Daniel Jones the slimmer of doubt. I mean, he's had no weapons to throw to, no offensive line. I've been seeing a lot of J.J. McCarthy rumors, and I tell you right now, the Giants draft the quarterback at number, 6? They're being stupid. Even if the Giants were to draft the quarterback, they're being stupid. There's no offensive line, no receivers there. And with that being said, Malik Neighbors should be a New York Giant with that pick. The Giants need a top receiver. When Odell left, that was their best receiver. They got no one else. They have no offensive line. The Giants need to take an offensive lineman or a receiver with that pick. They need to. They need to get Daniel Jones some protection or some receiving help. It's that. And Malik Neighbors was a beast at LSU this past year. Now Daniel Jones, yes, he lost Saquon. I think they can draft a lineman and a running back later in the draft. Tackle, but they need a tackle too. There's going to be a run on tackles in this draft. Tackles and receivers are deep, but Malik Neighbors is that weapon for Daniel Jones. You got to get him a weapon or you got to get him protection there. So we're going to go with Malik Neighbors there. Tennessee. Tennessee's going to get some help on the O-line. They're going to draft Joe Alt. Joe Alt, probably one of the best tackles in this class. The tackle, like I just said for the Giants, the tackle class is very, very deep. Tennessee gets one of the best offensive linemen in the class, Joe Alt. Tennessee needs help on the O-line, kind of. I mean, they just picked up Calvin Ridley. You don't really need to go receiver there. You have DeAndre Hopkins. Will Levis, I mean, granted, you may hate Will. I'm actually a big Will Levis fan. I think Will Levis could do some damage down there in Tennessee. You lost Derrick Henry. Your defense is but you just traded for Snead. Now you add Joel Alt, you get some protection. You drafted Peter Skoronski next week. Tennessee, Joel Alt, you add him in there. They're building through the trenches there. Now you got Joel Alt, you got Peter Skoronski. You're building for the future. You got your franchise quarterback. You got two key pieces on that line. Joel Alt would be a slam dunk pick for Tennessee. I mean, even if they were to take any of these other tackles, Afanu, Fashanu, Fungi, or those are probably the two best other after Alt. But getting a tackle for the Falcons, I mean, not the Falcons, the Titans, is the Taylor Lewan replacement there for Joe Alt. But yeah, Joe Alt to the Titans. The Atlanta Falcons, they just signed Kirk Cousins. They have Bijan. They have Kyle Pitts. They have Drake London. Do they go tackle? No. I think they need to get help on the defense. We're going to give them a guy from Alabama, Dallas Turner. This is a good edge. They need help on the defense. Right now, Raheem Morris is their new head coach who comes from a defensive philosophy. Getting an edge rusher there, get pressure on the quarterback. I don't think that Falcons should go offense unless you're going to tackle or interior lineman, then go offense. I think they need help on the defense side. I think the Falcons right now are in a win now type of mode. When you sign Kirk Cousins 4 years, whatever million it was, you have Bijan, you have Pitts, you have London. All of them are on rookie deals. Get some help for the defense. Falcons, I don't know who their edge rushers are, but Dallas Turner was great at Alabama this past season, led the team to the playoff. Not the sole reason they led to the playoff, but was a key factor on that Alabama defense. Going with Turner helps on the edge and gives Atlanta a good pass rusher, a good one for the future there, and helps them work in the defense. We go to the Bears. We go to the Chicago Bears. And I don't know if this pick's actually going to happen. I really don't like this pick, but I'm going to give them Rome Odunze. I'm looking at the Chicago Bears roster, and it looks like the Chicago Bears roster is stacked. Their defense might maybe a linebacker, but there's not really a good linebacker. I mean, you got DJ Moore, you got Keenan Allen. Now you add Rome Odunze in there. The Chicago Bears offense will be electric. I can't see them taking a running back at number 9. In reality, I'm giving the Bears Rome Odunze here. Gives them 3 receiver. Keenan Allen, but Keenan Allen, right? They traded for him. He can't stay healthy. So if Keenan Allen were to go down, now they got Rome Odunze. They still got DJ Moore. That receiver room would be loaded. Caleb Williams throwing them boys the ball. I like it. But the thing with Chicago is, I don't know if they go Rome Odunze there. In my opinion, I think Chicago is trading down. I think if anything's going to happen, is the Broncos trade up with the Bears maybe to get J.J. McCarthy to jump the Vikings. I don't see Chicago keeping this pick. I really don't. I think they're going to trade down, but we don't do trades in our mock drafts. So Rome Odunze to the Bears to keep that receiving room loaded. Their offense looks electric. Their defense, could use some help here and there, but Rome Odunze to the Bears. That would be awesome to see. New York Jets, I think it's clearly obvious. I'm not going to pronounce his first name, but his last name is Fashanu. I think the Jets, again, they need a tackle. Last year, they were going to draft. It was before the Patriots traded down. They were going Broderick Jones. They were going to go for a tackle. It just so happened the Patriots were, they traded with the Steelers. The Steelers get Broderick Jones. So the Patriots kind of sabotaged the Jets' plan. They drafted Will McDonald. The Jets need a tackle, and I think they're going to get a tackle either in Fungi or Fashanu, maybe Joel if he falls. The Jets need a tackle. Their Aaron Rodgers is coming off an Achilles injury. Their offensive line is terrible. They were terrible. I mean, if they would have got Broderick Jones, I've been seeing the posts on social media. If they would have got Broderick Jones, Aaron Rodgers probably doesn't get hurt. Just saying. Jets fans, you need a tackle. You're probably going to get one. You need a tackle. And if I'm the Jets, either Fungi, Fashanu, Alt, if one of them are there, I'm turning that card in ASAP. You need a tackle. Get Aaron Rodgers some protection. And hopefully Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy for your Jets fans, although I'm a Dolphins fan. And I do not want the Jets to be good, unfortunately, because I'm a Dolphins fan. I want the Dolphins to win. But, man, you put Fashanu there, get Aaron Rodgers some protection, and the Jets' offense could be, great. So, yeah, Jets need a tackle. So, if a tackle's there, they got to do it. All right, next up, Minnesota. This should be an obvious pick for me. We're going to give them J.J. McCarthy, there's been a lot of rumors about Vikings and JJ McCarthy. I think the Vikings really love JJ McCarthy. They're not going to need to trade up. I don't think. I don't unless the Broncos are pulling strings. The Vikings would then have to trade up. They did trade for the 23rd pick in this draft, so if they need to trade up, they can. But it's pretty obvious. Sam Darnold is not the. Maybe I'm wrong, by the way, Vikings fans. Sam Darnold's not the long-term answer there, and I think the Vikings are very high on JJ McCarthy, and I think they're going to take JJ McCarthy. Either they're going to trade up for him, or they're just going to hope and pray he stays there. And if any other teams like JJ McCarthy, you're going to have to. You're going to probably either have to trade a massive haul to get up there, because if JJ McCarthy gets the Vikings, it's over. And I really like JJ McCarthy. I really do like JJ McCarthy. The hype going around JJ McCarthy kind of worries me, because I think JJ McCarthy with all this hype could be maybe a bust. But I really like JJ McCarthy. I liked him in college. I liked him at Michigan. I think he'll be just fine in the NFL. I mean, kid's a playmaker. We'll see how it goes. I really like JJ McCarthy, and I think it fits the Vikings. I think he would fit the Vikings offense well. Should he start right away? I would go with Sam Darnold, to be honest with you. Let him suck it up and then bring JJ in. Now, the Vikings also have another issue with Justin Jefferson and his contract. But knowing the receivers down the board, you could probably get one of them if you want to. Maybe you get a massive haul for Justin Jefferson, although I think the Vikings should pay Justin Jefferson and have that JJ to JJ connection, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a slam dunk pick. The Vikings going to do it. Next up for the Broncos. They need help at quarterback, but are you taking Penix or Bo Nix, which right now on this site is the 33rd and 36th player on the board? Are you going to reach for a quarterback? Is Jared Stidham's not the answer there? I think the Broncos should go with Jared Verse here. Honestly, I think they should go edge, get some help in the defense, start building that defense. I mean, the Broncos, what was the Broncos' identity before Sean Payton? Defense. They had their defense carrying them that Super Bowl 50 win. Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware. You got Jared Verse, who is skyrocketed on boards. I like the pick. I really think the Viking I keep getting confused on these teams. Broncos should go edge rusher here. Start building through the trenches. Get Jared Verse. Jared Verse had a really solid year at Florida State. He's climbing up the boards. I really like Jared Verse. I think you take him over a cornerback, over Q Mitchell. But I think the Vikings need to go. I did it again. The Broncos should go back to the roots, start building through the edges and the defensive line, build that defense up. Maybe Broncos trade back. Maybe the Broncos trade back too. But again, we don't make trades here. But Jared Verse to the Broncos. I like it. Next up, we got the Raiders. This is such a Raiders pick too. Keon Mitchell, who has very much climbed up draft boards. I believe at the beginning in January, I saw him going around round 3. He has really improved his draft stock from the combine. And this is such a Raiders pick too. The Raiders always take these weird picks. I'm not saying Q Mitchell is a weird pick. He's earned the right to be going in the first round. He's put in the work. He's got that draft stock going. But this is such a Raiders pick too. And Keon Mitchell, I mean, the Raiders need help in that secondary. Again, Raiders, you may argue they need a quarterback. They just signed Minshew. They got Aiden O'Connell. But again, they're probably just going to roll with that. Are you really going to take Bo Nix or Michael Penix at number 13? I don't think so. I think they're going to roll with Minshew and AOC for the year. Maybe they look at quarterback next year. But they get help in the secondary. You just signed Christian Wilkins to be on that line. You got Max Crosby. Those two guys, by the way, are going to be dominant in the Raiders' defense. And now you add Keon Mitchell to get some help in the secondary. I think that's a slam dunk ping by the Raiders. And I really like Q Mitchell. And I think he's going to be a beast. Anyway, the Saints are on the clock now. Who do I have the Saints taking? It's none other than Talise Fuanga, whatever. Another Samoan, No disrespect to Samoans, by the way. They're beasts, dude. I love Samoans. They're beasts. They do the dance in New Zealand. Not making stereotypical, but I love Samoans, man. They're strong. They're beasts. I love Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He's a freaking beast, man. Anyway, Talise whatever, is a great pickup by the Saints. The Saints, Derek Carr, they just got rid of Michael Thomas. You could argue they need a receiver. Wait. This looks weird. Oh, that's Tad. Okay, never mind. I'm looking at the wrong thing. But yeah, Derek Carr needs protection. You could argue they maybe should go receiver, which is the best one on the board was Brian Thomas. I don't think the main need is freaking receiver. There's so many good, like we said, so many good receivers. The tackles in this class, the top ones will go early. The tackles, there's still a lot of depth at tackle, but if you want a top tier tackle, the first round is where you want to get them. But yeah, he was a beast at Oregon State this year. Really good in the run game. Was decent in the pass game, I heard. But the Saints get protection. Derek Carr needs protection. Reason why Derek Carr maybe was so bad last year was the offensive line was terrible. Maybe it's because he had no one to throw to, but protection is always king in the NFL. If you don't have good protection, you're not going to be good. But Talise TF, I'm going to have to call him because I can't pronounce these names. So bad at pronouncing names. TF is going to be a great addition to the Saints, giving Derek Carr some great protection. Next up for the Colts, I'm going Teron Arnold. Get some help in that Colts secondary. I don't think the Colts secondary is that really good, in my personal opinion. No offense, Colts fans. Again, if you guys are watching this, educate me about your teams because I have no clue about any of your teams. I only know about my Dolphins. That's the only team I know about. But again, I think the Colts secondary is not good. They got a guy from Bama. And, it's always weird. You never see cornerbacks go high. I always feel like cornerbacks fall, or is it safeties? It's one of the two. But I think the Colts need some secondary help, and I think Arnold can produce that for them. Next up, the Seahawks. This is also such a Seattle pick is they're going to take an edge rusher from UCLA and LL. We're going to call him because I can't pronounce these guys' names, man. God, why is this draft loaded with so many guys' names I can't pronounce? But yeah, this seems like a Seattle pick. And the Seattle Seahawks just signed Mike McDonald. They also signed my guy Jerome Baker, who I'll miss him. But yeah, the Seattle, I think they're gonna need help a little bit maybe on the defense. Get an edge rusher. Maybe you can go an old lineman to help Geno Cook, maybe a receiver. I don't know, but I think the Seattle's got a good team. Latu, I think, was a beast at UCLA. Really raised his draft stock there. It just feels like a Seattle pick to me. You get Latu, and now you got a good edge rusher. Seattle, once they got rid of Russell Wilson, since Seattle got rid of Russell Wilson, they have built it the smart way. They have made smart moves. They made smart draft picks. Latu in the Seahawks defense with Mike McDonald should be fun, man. Should be fun. Next up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we're going to give them some secondary help in Cooper DeJean. I really love Cooper DeJean. He was a beast at Iowa. Jacksonville kind of needs help in that secondary. I don't think their secondary is also that good either. But Cooper DeJean goes there, gives Jacksonville some secondary help. I think Jacksonville kind of also, what do they need? Also like a tackle. They need a cornerback. Cornerback's their main need, so they kind of need help in the secondary, and Cooper DeJean's going to provide that. You could argue maybe Nate Wiggins, but I like Cooper DeJean more than Nate Wiggins. I've seen more highlights of Cooper DeJean than Nate Wiggins. Don't get me wrong, I got to probably do more watch on Nate Wiggins, but I think Cooper DeJean goes to Jacksonville and is going to help that secondary. Very nice. The Cincinnati Bengals, we're giving them a tackle, and LC Latham. I believe they have Orlando Brown Jr. And did they cut that guy? What's his name? La'el Collins. I don't know if they cut him or not. Jonah Williams, I believe, is now with the Cardinals. The offensive line, Joe Burrow, needs some protection. Again, if Joe Burrow, last year was a finger, right? Again, need help. You get Latham. He can play the right side. You got Orlando Brown that can play the left side. Getting Joe Burrow some protection on the tackles, that would be a slam dunk pick. I also like Byron Murphy to the Bengals as well. They could use some help in the defensive line. But again, we're going to give them Latham there to get some help to Joe Burrow. Next up, the LA Rams. We're giving them Nate Wiggins. Rams kind of need some help in the secondary. I was looking at their depth chart. Don't really have any recognizable names in the cornerback position. So we'll give them Nate Wiggins to give them some help in the secondary position. Next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers. are on the clock. I also feel like this is another Pittsburgh Steelers pick. They need help on the interior line. We're going to give them Jackson Power Johnson. They need help in the interior. They got some decent tackles. Russell Wilson, you now got Russell Wilson. You don't got Kenny Pickett no more. Yeah, get Russell some protection. And this feels like a Steelers pick too. I know everyone in the Dolphins fan bases have been hyping up Jackson Powers Johnson, and they're hoping the Dolphins fans want him. I want him too. He's a beast. But again, the Steelers need help. Go look at the Steelers interior line. They don't have. Maybe I'm wrong, Steelers fans. There's nobody I know. Is that a good or bad thing? Are they bad? Are they good? Let me know. But I feel like this is such a Steelers pick. Get Wilson some protection. I believe Jackson Power Johnson's a center, and he can also play guard. So getting Russell some protection. Let Russ cook, right? Steeler Nation. All right, my team, the Miami Dolphins. We're going. I think who did I have them taking? Yep, we're gonna have them taking Byron Murphy. Hook 'em horns. I've been seeing Dolphins fans. Listen, the Dolphins need a lot. We need either a tackle or Byron Murphy. A lot of Dolphins fans, listen, Dolphins fans, you need to stop, okay? We don't need a receiver in round one. I've been seeing people on the Xavier Worthy train and Brian Thomas. I'm telling you right now, we will be live for the draft. If the Dolphins select a receiver, expect me to go ballistic on this team. They don't need a receiver. We have Tyreek Hill. We have Jalen Waddle. Yes, we need a third receiver, but the receiving class is so deep. You can find one in the 6th, 7th round, I bet. Dolphins, if you take a receiver, I'm going to lose it. You either need to take a tackle. Now, I'll probably have a Dolphins take a tackle in the next mock draft. We need a tackle. Teron Armstead can't stay healthy. We need a replacement for him. We have Austin Jackson, who's solid, but Teron Armstead can't stay healthy, and he's probably going to retire. So you need to go tackle there. But the reason why I'm going Byron Murphy here is the Dolphins just lost Christian Wilkins. They need a big guy to fill that role. Byron Murphy is a beast. He's beast at hook'em. We're going to take him here. We need a Christian Wilkins replacement. And I swear to God, Chris Greer, if you're watching this video, you select a receiver, I'm going to find your house, buddy. I swear to God, if the Dolphins take Xavier Worthy, don't get me wrong. We'll talk about Xavier Worthy because I have him coming in this mock draft at some point. If the Dolphins draft Xavier Worthy at number 21, I'm going to go ballistic on this team because we don't need a receiver. We already have the Cheetah. We already have the Penguin. We can draft the one later to be our third receiver. It either has to be tackle or defense lineman. We're going defense lineman with Byron Murphy to fill the Christian Wilkins gap. Now, the reason why I did that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a Dolphins fan. So we're probably going to be going off on a Dolphins tangent in these mock drafts because I swear, man, I can already see him taking a receiver and me lose my mind on stream on April 25th when the regular draft comes. All right, Eagles. I was going to have him take a Georgia player just because it fits, but instead we're going to give the Eagles Kool-Aid McKinstry. Eagles need help in the secondary. Their secondary was not good towards the end of the year. Darius Slay banged up. Bradbury, I believe, was also banged up. You get Kool-Aid McKinstry now, so now you got a guy. If Slay or Bradbury go down, you got Kool-Aid McKinstry now as depth. I mean, Howie Roseman loves his Georgia players. I couldn't find a Georgia player to take there. We'll give him Kool-Aid McKinstry, who was a good at Alabama. Him and Arnold were the dynamic duo. Kool-Aid McKinstry to Philly. Next up for the Vikings, I gave them this guy, Demon Robinson. I think he goes by Chop Robinson. I give the Vikings that they need an edge. They just signed Andrew Van Ginkel, who was a really great for the Dolphins on the edge this past year. Yeah, linebacker, edge rusher, whatever you want to call him. Vikings need some help at edge. You know, they just lost Danielle Hunter. That you got to keep that in the fact. But the Vikings may not be picking there. They might be trading up. But if they do pick there, they got to get an edge to replace Danielle Hunter. Chop Robinson is your guy there. Next up for the Cowboys. Okay, Cowboys. Cowboys need some work. They need some help on the O-line. They need a tackle. They also need a receiver. They also do need a receiver. And the receiver I have, you might be thinking, is it Brian Thomas? No, we're giving the Cowboys Xavier Worthy, the hometown guy from Hook'em. Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy broke the 40-yard time. And listen, guys, I'm going to say this. No defense to Xavier Worthy. He's a great receiver, great speed, great receiver. But you all need to stop overvaluing the 40 time. John Ross broke the 40 record and he was a bum. Okay. It's the 40-yard dash is a cool thing, seeing big guys run and seeing all these fast guys. But the 40-yard dash is meaningless in a sense. I mean, we overrate it, guys. We got to stop overrating the 40-yard dash. But I think with Xavier Worthy going to Dallas, you add him with CeeDee Lamb, his speed and his abilities. Dak's got two weapons there with Lamb and now Xavier Worthy. They probably should go with a tackle there, but let's have some fun. Let's give the Cowboys Xavier Worthy. That would be an electric duo. Lamb, Worthy, Dak. Say what you want about Dak. I mean, I think Dak and Tua Tagovailoa are the same quarterbacks. They're great against the bum teams, but when they play elite teams, they're not as good. But now Xavier Worthy goes to Cowboys. And yeah, hook them there. All right, next up, the Packers. They're going to take a tackle. Probably the guy that Cowboys should pick. We're going to give him Troy Fumagalli, another name I can't pronounce. Packers just released David Bakhtiari, cap reasons, or he couldn't say healthy reasons. But again, Troy F. We're going to call him Troy F. Is your David Bakhtiari replacement. There you go. And he's going to be protected for Jordan Love. I really like Troy. I hope if the Dolphins take a lineman, it's either him or Fumagalli that I got the Saints taking. But yeah, I like this pick a lot for the Packers. They get Jordan Love, some protection there. Number 26. I got the Buccaneers taking Graham Barton. Get Baker some protection there. I believe did Ryan Jensen retire this year or last year? I don't know. I believe whenever he retired, if it was this year or last, they haven't filled the role. I think Graham Barton could be. I don't know if Graham Barton plays guard or center, but get Graham Barton in there. Get Baker Mayfield some help. Give him some solid protection over there at the guard. Arizona Cardinals up here. I think they also need a lot. You could go another receiver. No. We're going to give them Jer'Zhan Newton. Give them some help in the interior line. The Cardinals pretty much need everything on defense. Could be wrong about that. They still have Budda Baker. Cardinals trade Budda Baker. Honestly, never mind. You got Kyler Murray. What am I saying? I mean, they got Kyler Murray. Never mind. Keep Budda Baker. I'm sorry, Cardinals fans. Don't come at me. But yeah, Kyle Murray can't do everything on his own. Cardinals need everything. They need really help in defense. Jer'Zhan Newton, I like him. I hope if the Dolphins can't get Byron Murphy, I would take Newton. I would take Newton as a secondary option. I like Newton. Pretty solid player. Gives the Cardinals some help in that interior. Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills. Us Dolphin fans and Bills fans don't see eye to eye, but we're going to give the Bills Amarius Mims, right? That's what I wrote down. Yep, Amarius Mims there. Get Josh Allen some protection. Deion Dawkins is up there in age. Maybe they got to cut him in a couple years because of cap casualty, or maybe he retires. But yeah, Amarius Mims makes sense there. Get Josh Allen some protection. I seen Dolphins fans clamoring about him as well. I seen some clips. I like him. But Josh Allen needs some protection. There you go. Mr. Mims goes there. Detroit Lions, we're going to be giving them a receiver. Brian Thomas Jr., they have Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I believe he's got some contract negotiations. Detroit's trying to lock him up. And then after Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got Jameson Williams, who I like. But after Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got really nobody. And since Brian Thomas Jr. has fallen all the way down to here, you might as well take him. I can't really find a need on Detroit outside of maybe like a third receiver. Detroit, let me know what you guys need, really, because I have no clue. I was doing this mock draft. I was like, who am I going to give Detroit? I mean, Detroit kind of needed cornerbacks, but all the best cornerbacks are off the board. They kind of needed edge, right? What else did Detroit need? They needed cornerback, but there was just no one. I mean, they could have gone Zach Frazier, but like I don't like to reach. I feel like if they don't have an edge or an interior lineman or a cornerback there for Detroit, I think Detroit can trade back. But like we say, you pick the player on the board, the pick you have is the pick you get. You don't know. We don't do trades around on these streets. So I just figured, why not Brian Thomas Jr. We got another receiver going here to the Baltimore Ravens. We're gonna give him Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman is probably one of the best receivers in this class. He might be, said and done, the best receiver in this class. I really like Keon Coleman. He transferred from Michigan State to Florida State, had a killer year. It seems like once Jordan Travis went down, he was like a ghost. He was nowhere to be found. But, he had a great combine. He had a great drill. Forget what it's called. Everyone's saying he didn't run a good 40. Well, let me tell you something. Puka Nacua didn't run a good 40, and look at Puka Nacua now. Keon Coleman to the Ravens. Ravens kind of need help at receiver. They do got Zay Flowers. They don't have anyone else after Zay Flowers, so why not give him another one? Get Lamar another weapon. They do have Derrick Henry. If they're going to go with the Lamar Derrick Henry show, maybe they go without a receiver, but I think Lamar, you get him another weapon. You got Zay Flowers. You got Keon Coleman now. Man, the Ravens would look scary with that. I like the pick. Next up, the Niners. We are going with another tackle. My dad's watching the new UFL, so he's screaming right now. Anyway, we're going to go Jordan Morgan to the... We're going to go with Jordan Morgan to the Niners. Trent Williams is getting up there in age, so this could be their replacement. I think they might need a little help over there on the right side as well. But yeah, Jordan Morgan could be the replacement for Trent Williams. Also give Brock Purdy a little help there. Yeah. So we'll go with Jordan Morgan there. And then finally, the Chiefs. This one, we're going another receiver here. Edion Mitchell. I do not think the Chiefs will go receiver. I do not think they're going to go receiver, but I figured let's just have fun and let's just have a lot of receivers go round one. And Rashid Rice, news broke about him, and I'm not going to speak about it, but there was news about him in a car crash. Not going to speculate anything. I'm not going to talk about it, and they just signed Hollywood Brown. Now they add, and if Rice, everything goes, hopefully everything's all right with him and everything. I'm not going to speak about it because I don't know about it. I saw it on my Twitter timeline today. I hope everything's all right with him, and I hope everything's okay. I hope everyone involved in that accident is okay. But you got, if everything goes right, you got Hollywood Brown, Rashid Rice. Now you add Mitchell to that. Patrick Mahomes in that Chiefs offense. You still got Kelsey. The Chiefs offense would look scary, bro. But the Chiefs also need help with the O-line too. So you could either golden receiver or O-lineman there. I just figured let's have fun. Let's go Edion Mitchell. So guys, that was my mock draft 1.0. We'll be doing mock draft 2.0 this coming Friday. This video was supposed to be up Friday, but your boy had a change of plans. So yeah, I'm going to get out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know, comment down below. What does your team need? Who do you hope your team drafts? Let me know that all down below. Hopefully I gave you guys some great analysts and some great points maybe. I'm going to get out of here. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.